Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. The goal of this channel is to get you in the group of people that actually make money in crypto. Because the facts are, over 90% of everyone investing in crypto lose money. We want to change that. Now, I have a financial background and I do my deep dives for me and I share with my community. Therefore, I don't always tell you what you want to hear. But in this video, I'm going to give you a ton of alpha. And we're going to talk about the money rotation and Ethereum versus Solana. And then we're going to look at some charts. And I'm also going to give you a project that I think should outperform Solana easily if Solana starts to run. So anyway, hit that like button. Let's dive into it. Now, before we do, just say hit that like button, hit that like button. Guys, you know, one problem with crypto is everyone declares that it's altcoin season. And how many times have influencers talked you into diving all in with the FOMO? You gotta be careful about that. Be careful who you listen to. You don't have to listen to me, but going all in when people tell you it's altcoin season, look at their track record. I have not declared that it's altcoin season yet, but but most people went all in maybe back during the election and they got wrecked. Just some alpha. All right. Now, in this video, mainly we're going to talk about Solana. And just for full disclosure, Ethereum and Solana are my two biggest bags. There is Ethereum and then it's Solana. But we're mainly going to talk about Solana because I believe Solana has a lot more upside for the rest of this bull run. And we're going to talk about that. Now, the one thing I want to tell everyone, whether you like Ethereum or not, Ethereum has been chosen by Wall Street. Now, that may change, but most people have never heard of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Now, I want you to think about something. You got the most powerful companies in the world. I'm going to read to you what they say about that. The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance connects Fortune 500 enterprises, startups, academics, and technology vendors with the Ethereum subject matter. So for years, the smartest, biggest, most powerful companies in Wall Street got together and said, hey, let's push the EVM, the Ethereum blockchain. That's why it has so much power. It's like New York City. That's where all the big money is. Now, yes, people like me and you hate Ethereum. We hate the gas fees. But Wall Street could care less. Not only do they care less, they run a node and actually make money, maybe. They care about the security layer. So Ethereum is a powerhouse. And with the layer twos, Wall Street are building on top of Ethereum using the base layer for the security. And then they can run their own private blockchains or their own public blockchains or whatever they want to build as a layer two. So Ethereum for the next, say, 5 years, no matter what, is going to be a powerhouse. Look, they don't have an XRP army. They have a Wall Street army, a bank army. So something to think about. That's why Ethereum is so powerful. That's why it has so many developers. If you're going to build a restaurant or a business, yes, it costs you a lot more to build in New York City, but you're probably going to make a lot more money and your customers are a lot wealthier. That's all I want to say about Ethereum. All right, let's talk about Solana. Now, I want to give a shout out to James at Investa Answers. Guys, he is one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met. And I used to work on Wall Street. I used to be a currency trader. And James is extremely intelligent. He can do more math in his head than I can do with a calculator. And it's very few times that I've ever disagreed with him. Now, I may not like his answers, but he's just like me. He's non-biased. And when he tells you not to buy HBAR or XRP or something like that because of the tokenomics, highly recommend you listen to him. Now, back in the day, full disclosure, I disagreed with him on HBAR and their tokenomics because HBAR spends their profits into their ecosystem. I agree with him on XRP, but that being said, he's so far been very correct on HBAR, which was one of my biggest bags, for whatever that's worth. But I want to give a shout out to James. Now, James is a Solana bull. Now, what's different between about James is James does non-biased research just like I do and comes to a conclusion. Then he becomes biased. Most people don't compare projects, don't do any deep dives, don't do any real research, don't look at data, which is what James is famous for, before they invest. So I highly recommend, guys, go search Investa Answers and watch his channel and then compare projects, compare data. Data and math doesn't lie. All right. So right now, guys, you know, Solana, you got Bitcoin ETF, Solana or Ethereum ETF, and you don't have technically a spot Solana ETF, but you do have the first ETF that allows staking. And there is an immense amount of ETFs lined up, which I 100% think will be approved. So they're coming down the pipe. That's extremely bullish. Now, treasury companies is where it's at. Guys, right now you have 8 different treasury stock companies stacking Solana. You got UPXI, you've got DeFi Development, Mercury, Sharps, Bit Mining, Solana Strategies, Torrent, HODL. That's 8. And there's 5 on the way. Now check this out, guys. This is kind of shocking in my opinion. I don't know if you know who Pantera is, which, be honest, I don't like JP Morgan. I don't like Pantera. I don't like any of these powerhouse players. That doesn't mean I don't follow their money and try to capitalize on the way they think and the way they manipulate. Pantera has pulled out more money from crypto by flat out scamming. Well, I shouldn't call it scamming. They were early investors back in the day in crypto. They backed these early companies and then they basically pulled the rug on most of them. However, they are a powerhouse. They're really one of the goats of investing in crypto, whether you like it or not. That being said, they are creating a project, or not a project. They basically are going to turn one of the companies that already has a stock ticker that's already on Wall Street, a, a Wall Street company, into a Solana treasury. And they're going to stake all the money, the billions of dollars that they're going to raise. And guess what? They're going to call it like the Solana company. That's the future. Guys, I can't be more bullish on Solana. So that's something you guys need to really think about. What is the smart money doing? Now, for me, I only invest bull run to bull run. And I'll never sell my Bitcoin, but I will never not sell my altcoins. that being said, if I had to hodl an altcoin, it would be Solana. So, like I said, shout out to Investor Answers. You know, he harps on a lot of things constantly, like data and numbers, and that um, the winner takes all. And in his video, he talks about, like, if you think about it, guys, ISO versus Android, right? Google versus all the others, Mac, and well, I don't even think these are good examples. YouTube versus others, uh, uh, Facebook versus others. They won. I always go back to like the .com bubble, and I was around for that. Guys, this is deja vu for me. Back in like 1999, it was exactly like this. There was thousands and thousands of companies saying they're going to change the internet. And back then, the internet had stagnant pages. It literally served no purpose. And they were saying, oh, well, you're going to do internet dating. You're going to put your credit card online. And everyone said they were crazy. But the stocks went to the moon. And then in 1 year, I'm not exaggerating, guys, and I really believe this is going to happen in crypto. 99.9% of these projects are going to disappear and not come back. In 2000, they all disappeared. But we got Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and projects like that. So the point is, if you follow the money and the adoptions and the projects that are making money, don't forget about that. Those are showing us who are probably the future. That being said, I remember Google, there was Yahoo, was amazing, dominated everything. Then Google came out of nowhere. So there's probably going to be projects that are going to come out of nowhere and take over. So keep that in the back of your mind. So, but the reason I mention that is right now, honestly, if you just are non biased and you look at who is dominating, it's really Solana, Ethereum, and I believe it's H bar for supply chain management. And when you take all the other ones, all the other layer ones, if they disappeared and only those three stayed, you'd be good. We'd still have the same tech that is for the future because Wall Street's starting to add their own projects, their own blockchains. Don't let anyone kid you that what people were saying about, say, like the banking tokens and ISO tokens are going to take over the world. They're not, guys. It's just, uh, it's just code and excuse me. It's just code, and all this tech can be duplicated. It's open source, and the banks are all ISO 222 compliant. And now that we have the regulation, we're going to have the tech. Now, that being said, I know I went on a little rant right there. James does a lot of information, data charts, and I'll leave a link down below. And he talks about the dominant blockchain. Guys, Ethereum is what it is for tokenized assets, and the banks and Wall Street, they love that um, security layer. But when it comes to the numbers, Solana does 70% of all transactions compared to all layer ones combined. So when your favorite altcoin or layer one, like Algorand, XRP, XLM, it doesn't matter. They are not even remotely in the ball game of being relevant when it comes to making money, making profits, basically, developers, adoption, or anything else. when you separate this stuff, guys, it all sounds sexy. When you go, no matter what blockchain it is, it sounds sexy until you compare it. I highly recommend you compare everything to Solana and Ethereum. And then you will probably laugh at some of the other layer ones that think they're going to be relevant, no matter what some of those tribal influencers tell you. But guys, James talks about how dominant Solana is, but how it's undervalued. And he also 100% understands that it doesn't matter in crypto currently because BS, lies, misinformation, not making any money, whatever, it moves a token. But in the long term, the dominant blockchains, which are Solana and basically Ethereum, and whatever comes down the pipe, are the dominant ones. I want you to hear something.
400% better. It's the most egregious mispricing of assets I have ever seen in 35 years of analyzing assets.
Now, guys, you listen to whoever you want, and you don't have to listen to me, but I highly recommend you listen to people I listen to. James went to Wharton. James worked on Wall Street. James is a multi millionaire. And he came out of retirement to start his channel to help people. So I highly recommend you listen to him over somebody that is not even full-time crypto or doesn't have a financial background. But hey, guys, it's your money. All right, check this out. There's some alpha. There's a website called Market Cap of, and you can go there and get realistic predictions, and you can compare the competition. Like we're going to compare Solana to Ethereum, right? So if Solana hits Ethereum's market cap, that's a 5x from here, and that's a $1,000 Solana. That's realistic, guys. I just did a video calling out some of the XRP influencers where they talk about $10,000 XRP. Guys, that's mathematically impossible. You should use market cap of. Let's start with XRP, for example, taking over Ethereum, then taking over Bitcoin, right? Taking over Bitcoin, which honestly, guys, is laughable, but that's $32 XRP. Use this tool, and then you'll laugh at the influencers that are just selling you pipe dreams that are not realistic. And the reason that's important, guys, look, I will not own $1,000 Solana, and it's my second biggest bag. I will be out way before that. But I may own, like, I don't know, 2%, 5% of my bag and let it run. But even that, I'm probably not going to do. But this is a realistic price. So go to marketcap.of, type in your favorite token, and then type in its competition in that sector, right? If it's a layer one, it's going to compete against Solana and Ethereum. I don't think anyone should compare Bitcoin to a layer one, even though it is a layer one. It's not an altcoin. It's a whole different thing. There's no comparison. And I truly believe there will never be, at least in my lifetime, an altcoin out reach the market cap of Bitcoin. And anyone that tells you that stupidity, I think, man, you're out of your mind if you listen to them. Anyway, let's look at the charts. All right, here's all I'm going to tell you. I have no doubt that Solana is not going to make a new all-time high. I don't think anyone stacking Solana right now is going to make a ton of money unless you have a ton of money. I think you can double your investment at best from here. $408 Solana before this bull run's over is amazing. Now, this could be an extended bull run, but again, I invest bull run to bull run. It will do it without my money. Ethereum. I have no doubt Ethereum is going to make a new all-time high. However, it could run to 6, 8, or 10,000 in this bull run. Again, it will do it without my money. That being said, guys, here's what I recommend. If you want to make the most money in a cycle in altcoin season, this is pretty much non-debatable. You want new projects that never experienced a bull run in hot sectors. So if you are bullish on Solana and you believe Solana is going to get to $500 or $1,000 before this cycle's over, you should buy something like SAROS or Jupiter, because this is a new project, never experienced a bull run, and if Solana rips, it's going to rip with it. Now again, guys, look at this. People tell you the Dino tokens can change the world, but probabilities are no, they're not. Not one old token has ever made life-changing gains for anyone, ever, in crypto compared to new projects. Look at this, guys. It's up 1,695% for this bull run. Compare that to the best Dino token. None of them can touch that. So if Solana starts to rip, this thing's going to keep ripping. And it's only 876 million market cap. It's definitely going to get to $1 billion, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion would be nothing, especially if Solana gets to say $400, which, guys, that's only doubling your profit if you own Solana. And the same with the Ethereum ecosystem. If you think Ethereum is going to hit 10,000, go down the Ethereum ecosystem and pick out some projects that are new projects, never experienced a bull run, that have good tokenomics, and the odds are they're going to outperform Ethereum. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you, but I'm extremely bullish on Solana and Ethereum, but I'm about to get out of all of my Ethereum at its new all-time high. I'll probably leave maybe 25%, and we'll see how much I want to let run. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I have all that dry powder to buy new projects and lower end altcoins when altcoin season gets here. Now, that being said, guys, if you need some help with your portfolio and getting a game plan that meets your risk reward, I got you. It's only $250, and I have a course that has 17 videos, and it answers pretty much every question you will be asking: how to compare projects, the importance of tokenomics, the importance of market cap, how to dollar cost average in, how to take profits, whatever. And then we do a Zoom call where I answer all your questions and I go through your entire portfolio. Now, if you want to make the most money in this bull run and after, in my opinion, not financial advice, learn to short. 75% of all my trades are shorting in the bull market, and it's worked out very well. And I truly believe it's the most consistent way to make money in crypto. And then when we get into the bear market, guys, it's a no-brainer. There's an old saying on Wall Street that the bull goes up the stairs and the bear jumps out the window. When it's game over, the people that know how to short are going to make a ton of money. They really are. And I also have an inner circle. That being said, guys, whether you take me up on any of that or not, and I'll leave a link down below and in the comments, reach out. But whether you take me up on any of that or not, do yourself a favor. Take profits or become the profits. People that are hodling are at risk, in my opinion. The odds are everything you own is going to drop 90% if history means anything, and they're not going to come back. And cryptos are not stocks. Don't fall for the misinformation and the lies that people tell you. Take profits or become the profits. And one last thing, guys. If the majority were right, the majority would be rich. Remember, 90% of everyone lose money in crypto. Don't be in that 90%. So hit the like button, hit the like button, heck, hit the unlike button. Comment, let me know what you think in the comment section. And either way, guys, come back and be part of this community. Subscribe. And we're going to get you in that 10% club if I have anything to do with it. And I'm extremely bullish. Take care, guys.